Yo, what you go on, people? This right here is a dancehall news and reviews. DNR hot take, not a cool take, hot take. That one, yeah, hot. Get over here. What you go on, people, boy? Jahvy, them got you, dog. They got you, dog. Jeffrey, they got you, dog. Boy, people. Hey, look how we are two rich man, two money man, GLE, BMW, Benz, them man are rich. Me short one I time them. Be a girl and be a sitting. Hear the dog them now, no? Boy, dog, see a space in a jail where me want, you know. See a space in a prison, be a man in there. That's what them want them. I say, look on them, man. All the one Jahvy, I swear to God, the man 450. 450, yeah, next one too, you know. Yeah, them want you for question into that. They gonna charge your ass to all you. Bro, the man them, the two man, the man them crow. Jahvy, Jesus Christ, 450. All day the man them a walk around and look like them a search Jeffrey. And them plan it and them a say, anyhow about that boy, you know. You can't see man them when you watch on social media the whole day like the man them a walk around. Like the man them haunted. And them get to them a look for. Get in a entanglements, be a sin thing. And look you now. Where freedom there? Prison them there. Or jail or whatever you want to call it. Man. Yo, and the fact that them money a flight risk too, you know. One day if them a give Jahvy bail. Them a give, maybe Jeffrey get it. Me not sure. But 450, don't run forward in for your questioning. Just know, say, you're likely to be charged. Peter Champagne upon the case people to get dismissed in a adjourn. Well, that's what Alkaline did say, no. That Alkaline did say. But remember, say when Alkaline did get locked up on thing, you know. And you know they went writ of habeas corpus, release him or charge him. Guess what? Them release Alkaline. But in terms of Jeffrey and Jahvy ambassador, them never release them. Them charge them Ross. Charge them get charged. I tell you, say people, them charge ain't even normal, you know. And on a normal charge, them you know, cause remember say Jamaica change up all them laws when it come to gun and them thing there, you know. You know, say illegal firearm, where them say 15 year minimum. Minimum say Jeffrey. Yo, John, look away, it's sticky. Well, just in case you did not know, Jahvy ambassador charged in Big Wall Carnival incident, you know, people. Police have laid charges against record producer Jahvy ambassador Morrison in relation to the shooting incident at the Big Wall Carnival party on Sunday. Morrison was charged with wounding with intent, using a firearm to commit a felony, and assault occasioning bodily harm. It comes hours after the court ruled that the police should either charge Morrison or release him by 6 p.m. on Friday. Jano, producer Javel. Boy, me I say, bro G, you have your freedom, dog, and you just got dash away, so. You just take your freedom and go just willy-nilly and dash it away, so. Now, obviously, you have Champagne upon the case, which is a big top liar. If anybody can get you off of this, definitely a Champagne. We not go around it, so obviously expenses are not being spared. Them go for the top of the top, the quintessential, the up liar for that one, yeah. Which simply means that Jahvy understand that this serious. This is a big deal. You understand him can go to prison for a very, 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 very long time. And in all honesty, the police, them not going good. Them not going good. The charge with them charge Jahvy, you know, is more like them a charge Jahvy because them want to lock him. But them not charge him for really hold him the real way. Because wounding with intent like him shoot after the youth, right? Shoot the youth. So basically, them a say wounding with intent, not attempted murder. Not attempted murder? Attempted manslaughter? Bro, man a bust shot after man. What you mean wounding with intent? Man go start up war with man and bust shot and shoot man and you tell me say wounding with intent? What that? How that jump in? What the murder charge there? Where the attempted murder, where the attempted manslaughter, where that there? I'm just being serious. Already you can see that the money is being well spent. You understand? Champagne worth it because he was not slapped with an attempted murder charge. That alone tell you say Champagne already a curved the charges already. Him already have the links and the connect for curve the charges. There wasn't an attempted murder charge on this. That is crazy. Wounding with intent. That right there is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Bro, the charges against Jahvy, like, he not carrying a weight. The charges against Jahvy carries way more weight. Jahvy has faced 15 years minimum with illegal possession of firearm. While Jahvy, bush shot and shoot, man. Yo, bro, this is insane, bro. You shoot me, right? You shoot me. And you face a lesser charge than me who get shot, man, on the move on the backside. What kind of justice system this? It's sticky, it's sticky, it's sticky. Imagine this, people. You being Jahvy, right? A podcaster. You do your job, you do your work. And you go to an event with your woman. And the man them corral you. The man them ambush you, right? And you end up in a shootout. Whether or not you had an illegal firearm or you disarm somebody. Well, your story is that you disarmed one of these alleged man who beat you up, box you, whatever the case is. And you had to defend yourself, right? Self-defense. And then now the police them hold you and slap you with all sorts of charges, right? The charges were laid following a court order to the police to charge or release Richards, right? Who has been detained since the incident by 6 p.m. on Friday. Richards has been charged with shooting with intent, wounding with intent, possession of prohibited weapon, and using a weapon to commit a felony. Jesus Christ. What kind of charge them here? What kind of ramped up ridiculous? All was left for them to do was charge him with attempted murder. Like, literally, them ramp up all of the charges pan Jahvy, which no make no sense by any legal standards. What the hell is going on with the police them? What going on with the prosecution? What going on with the DPP? What is this? This no make no sense at all. What you mean by shooting with intent? What you mean by wounding with intent? What you mean if man attack you as self-defense? What do you mean charged with wounding with intent? And shooting with it. What them thing there? How them thing they drop in? Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I understand the charge for the prohibited weapon. That makes sense. However, that charge shouldn't have come yet. It shouldn't have come yet. The police them supposed to do them due diligence, do them investigation thoroughly all the way through, and then forward back and charge him if the evidence show that, cause for charge. That makes sense. But you go run out and charge him. You run out and charge him with all of them ridiculous charges. Shooting with intent. When obviously his statement pointed out and everything points out that it was in self-defense. So how you run out and talk about shooting with intent and wounding with intent? On top of that, talking about using weapon to commit a felony. What do you mean? What felony? If you say the weapon itself is the felony, that makes sense. But what felony? Self-defense. You see, that are the thing, people. The Jamaican justice system a joke, people. A big time joke. So the criminals, them continue to get off. They dance them with them top liars. They continue to beat them case. All when them get convicted, them always a beat it. One way or another, them get it overturned on a technicality or something like that. Because the justice system a joke. The justice system a joke. Obviously, Jahvy is going to have his day in court. And most likely, he's going to beat these charges. But me I say, the fact them a go so hard after him no make no sense at all. They could have even released him, people. He's suffering from a gunshot wound. Why them never release him? Why did they have to keep him to the point where the writ of habeas corpus was brought up, release him or charge him? Why? Them could have released him right away. Obviously, him get him treatment, do them investigation, and if there's cause to charge, then them go so boom and arrest him and charge him and all of that, right? Instead, them put him behind bars, lock him up with him gunshot wound, all of that, right? What happened to the presumption of innocence, right? He's a victim in the case one way or another. One way or another, Jahvy is the victim. I don't want nobody to tell me no foolishness, people. I know what time it is. I understand this thing fully. Nobody can fool me. Tell me something, ladies and gentlemen. For the Jahvy haters and the Jahvy ambassador defenders, 450 defenders, I have a serious question for y'all. Do you believe that Jahvy premeditated what happened to him? Do you believe that Jahvy was like, all right, them boy did the event, yeah? Me I go the event, yeah? All right, me the event now. You are go on. Me I got the bathroom by myself right now. And them a step to me, alright? Alright, me have the weapon upon me. Alright, me go the bathroom right now. Alright, when me got the bathroom, them a step to me. Alright, so me got the bathroom, me I come back right now. No. So this is Jay in the bathroom, like, alright, I'm about to exit the bathroom right now. And when I exit the bathroom, they're gonna step to me. And one of them are gonna box me and we'll cause a tussle, and then I gonna pop it off and squeeze. Yeah, man, I saw me I get the boy them. I saw me I gonna get them. That sound plausible? That sound plausible to Uno. In any reality, any world, anything that make any sense? That Jahvy premeditated that entire incident, right? Pay attention to the ball game. Whilst on the other side, you tell me say, man, literally, let's say I buck up in him. Let's say a group of man, I got the bathroom for the whole of them go use the bathroom one time. You understand? Them I got the restroom. And them accidentally, miraculously, ironically, incidentally, you know, them buck up in a Jahvy. Them buck up in a Jahvy. And them must say, hey boy, and you know, argument ensued and a man box him, and whether a girl box him or a man box him, and him end up pull off gun and squeeze pan them and them return fire. You believe that makes sense? That makes sense? Or it more go like the man them plan for him, the man them go for him, and it turn out in a this. Which one you believe? I'm just saying, the way people are trying to frame the thing is ridiculous. It don't make no sense. I'm a logical person and a logics me a deal off. Does it make sense that Jahvy premeditate a bag of people step into him by himself? Make it make sense now, bro G. And then the police them, they're the worst. These Jamaican investigators are the worst. Or you gotta charge Jahvy for illegal firearm. How that make any sense? You need to do your investigation. Do you have ballistics? Do you have something? Can you trace the gun back to him? Somebody with him know, a family member, a friend. Can you tie the gun to him? Can you tie the gun to Jahvy before the event? If you can't tie the gun to Jahvy before the event, how can you say a theme gun? Because remember, people, this happened in an isolated area. So it's Jahvy's word against 450's entourage's words. Like, think about that, logical. So are they going to own the gun? Were they ever going to own it? Is there any circumstance in which they would own it? You tell me that somebody from the entourage is going to own the gun. All if I 10 gun pull, they would have disowned all 10 guns if it wasn't licensed and tied to them. Literally, they were never going to own an illegal gun. So, Jahvy word against their word was always going to be a thing. This is heights of insanity. If I was a member of the entourage, me not own it either. I would not own it. And I would encourage all of the members not to own it. And if I was Jahvy, I would not own it. Even if it was mine, I would not own it. Make it make sense. You understand? So, all of this yapping and people chat off their mouth. I'm like, bro, the police them suck. They suck. If there is evidence, well, obviously, evidence, I'll come out in a court and stuff like that. So maybe they do have evidence to say that it is Jahvy's gun. But if they don't, then you don't know, the case are weak anyhow. So we have to wait and see that point. So maybe, just maybe, the police them do them investigation. Run back the camera and them thing they know say somebody who checked Jahvy at the gate, he was walked through without, being checked or whatever. Maybe there is a reason why them charge him for the prohibited weapon. You understand? Maybe there is. Remember, say the JCF put out statement, Jahvy's statement, and tell we the world, what went on, So them not put out no other statement for tell we the counter argument, the counter narrative, other social media and people attack. You see, if them they put out say, all right, evidence say this, them not have to go into specifics, but they could have said that evidence point towards the gun being this or that or that. It could have been something like that, but them I leave it up to people to speculate left, right, and center. And that part right there have me away, people. It have me away because the only information they put out pointed to the ownership of the gun being unknown. So the fact that them charge Jahvy, that right there says type crazy. They must have something, some form of evidence as to why them charge. You understand? But when it comes to the Jamaican justice system, I don't have faith in them. I don't have no faith in them at all.
Yeah, man, Mr. Ice up there, you know?
Mr. Buck. Pose up, where you mean pose up? You left on the go, man, but see the Buchanan.
Yeah, man, one Buchanan.
How you doing?
Free up the boss, I know. Alright, boss.
Damn. Reality can give you such a smacking in the face. What a box down. What a radam. People, just look at that. Free up Ice at Buchanan. He might get paid no big money and he might guy him yard. Where Jeffrey there. Lockdown. You see me? Him not get free up. John was star. John was. Jahvy, where you there? Lock up to backside. Wow.
South Florida lawyer says Jahvy should be released from custody due to too many doubts.
A shooting, my opinion, Jahvy is not guilty. He will not be found guilty, and they really is released from custody. At the end of the day, there is too much reasonable doubt as to whether he disarmed somebody or he carried the gun in. It is not going to lead to a conviction. And really and truly, they need to release him from custody. And he hired big bag Isaac Buchanan, in case you don't know who that man is. That was the man who freed Vibes Cartel. So chances are there's going to be no conviction. And the other party involved hired Peter Champagne, who talk about the big dogs in Jamaica on this case. I don't see a conviction coming, and I really believe these guys should be released from custody.
Might as well hear from Isaac Buchanan.
That me a say no people, barring some ridiculous evidence against Jahvy that is undoubtable. For example, some camera footage, something where you can tie the gun to him outside before the event and stuff like that. Apart from that, me no say how in this world them actually have a strong case against Jahvy without some strong evidence. The he say, she say, that can't work, that can't cut it. You understand? There's only one thing for sure, is that Jahvy shot him, right? And a Jahvy gun. You see me? Because it is Jahvy's firearm that was used to shoot Jahvy. If the ballistics can prove that, then most definitely Jahvy have to go figure that part there out. You understand? Champagne side that. But in terms of Jahvy, barring some ridiculous evidence, I don't see how them can find him guilty.
Oh, of course, nobody knows he's representing Jahvy. This is Mr. Buchanan early this morning.
Buchanan, what's the latest on your client?
Alright, so an application was made today before Judge McIntosh for the habeas corpus. The judge has ordered that Mr. Richard be charged or released by 6 p.m. today. So we're just awaiting the time to see what the officer will do.
So is that Richard has appeared in court today or is not?
No, so an order was made on Wednesday for Mr. Richards to be taken for medical attention. That was not done. So when the application was made, the judge made inquiries and we were told that he's now at the hospital. So the judge has made the order, that's all.
And that nation led to this. Jahvy charged for a role in Big Wall shooting. This one is courtesy of Nationwide News. Breaking, blogger. It should be vlogger because bloggers are the ones that do the whole type up and so on, while vloggers do the whole visuals thing. So Jahvy would be considered a vlogger, although I don't see the relevancy of that information right now still. Let us continue. Breaking, vlogger Jahvy has been slapped with 4 charges for his involvement in a shooting incident at a soca event on Sunday after a question and answer session with the police today. Frias was charged with wounding with intent and shooting with intent. Jahvy has also been charged with a prohibited weapon and ammunition and use of a prohibited weapon to commit a felony. Music producer Jahvy is at this hour being questioned by the police. Jahvy ambassador himself was also ordered by the court to be charged or released by 6 p.m. 6 p.m. today, of course. Maybe before I even finish this report, we'll get an update on that. But in addition to that, it said that 450 is also expected to give a statement pertaining to the incident. But back over to Jahvy. Here's Jahvy's lawyer Isaac Buchanan after the charges were laid.
He was application for a 286, that's a habeas corpus, was filed and granted by the judge for charge and release by 6 p.m. He was also taken to the hospital for his medical treatment for his wound, as well as he, following a question and answer, he was charged with shooting with intent, wounding with intent, and possession of a prohibited weapon.
What are the next steps hereafter?
The next step, we now await the day in court. The bail access, they have 48 hours in which to bring the man to court after charge. So we await within reasonable time, given the complexity of the situation, to have the day in court. So we're looking to go to court about Wednesday.
Jano, I most definitely did not like how the police them handled the situation. Yes, me, because really and truly, they pushed it all the way to the weekend. When them know say, yeah, the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday now go count. So I like say I get figure court Monday. All the way on Wednesday, bro. That's crazy. In America, one thing we say no, don't get locked on a Friday. Do not get locked up on a Friday. You spend the whole weekend in there. Likely. You understand? If you get booked on a Friday, chances are, man, next week you come out. You see me? Them way there. So I don't like how the police them deal with that. But it is what it is. You see me? I don't know who Jeffrey piss off. Look like somebody have a writ against him or something. Because in all honesty, them really push it. And it look like them didn't want the youth get no medical attention. It's like if the judge never officially had it multiple times, them wouldn't actually act. Like them police are really hate Jeffrey.
What is he saying? What's his own reaction?
In terms of, well, I mean, he's taken aback by the situation. As you know, he was shot, he was assaulted, and the law, as it is, coming from the Privy Council, says a man has a right to defend himself. So we will look forward to our day in court where the competent jurisdiction will make an assessment of the issues before it.
Is there anything else you'd like to add at this time that I did not ask that I think is important to share?
No, I just think that, I'll always say that, we live in a high crime society, and wherever one of the remnants of a high crime society is that persons are going to always have to be forced to defend themselves. And as they do so, the habit of criminalizing ordinary citizens where the police fail to protect them is an issue that we're going to have to deal with.
Rastafari, that is so true. Them never did it to protect Jeffrey, but him have to defend himself. Man get boxed, man get gunshot, and you quick for charge, man. Never one man get medical attention. Them police are them wicked. No empathy. Them cool as ice, them wicked, dog. Bro, you tell me say, no man now use them empathy and say, alright, look here now, watch ya. Alright, make we get him some proper medical attention. We don't know what is what. Maybe he might tell the truth, maybe he might lie. Make we give him the benefit of the doubt. If I lie, alright, we all get him no matter what. But if I true him I tell, we don't want to put him through the traumatic situation where him get boxed or him get gunshot and we are put him through this and we don't know how it all play out in the end. You understand? That's why here I start to talk about the competent, you see me as a jurisdiction, because really and truly, the police them not competent at all. And that me get from that.
Sonation, the prohibited weapon, they must charge Jeffrey for that. Shooting with intent, I don't know if that is about 450's entourage member, the one that got shot, or if it's for the Canadian. Wounding with intent. Jaja, I wonder what the charges for Jahvy will be. But for now, I guess the talk is about Jeffrey.
Boy, Jeffrey, got go up on this one, yeah. Another landmark case in the making for ISAT Buchanan and the other top player there. Rough, man, me I tell you. This is an example of how staying in your yard can keep you out of problem. Problem just dropping, man, lapping up both of them. I mean, know right now, I'm looking at myself and I say, boy, if me did know. Allow me to tell Peter.
I totally agree with the sentiment that staying in your yard, stay out of problems, stay away from certain places and certain people will keep you out of problems. And that me do. I adhere by that rule. But you are going, you can't live in a fear. You can't live in a fear. You understand? This is the real world. Things happen. Life happen. You understand? So you can try if you avoid things, and oftentimes you find the thing where you try if you avoid down the road you took to avoid it. So at the end of the day, me just say you can try if you avoid things and things still reach you. You understand? So me not gonna blame Jeffrey and say, boy, dog, you should have turned your yard. Bro, you're an entertainer, you're in an industry, you keep events and stuff like that, you're a promoter, you host event, you do all of that. So you're gonna be out there. However, the other part now, when it comes to man and man just with them ego a step to man for box up man and them thing, they can't support them thing they no time. Can't support it, I'm sorry.
Nationwide News understands that entertainer 450 is to report to the police for a question and answer session when he returns to Jamaica. Our news center understands the entertainer, whose given name is Tristan Escoffrey, was booked for a sit-down with the police on Thursday. However, scheduling conflicts prevented the artist from appearing at the session.
Boy, 450 up on the outside, I look right now and I say, John or Jay they behind bars. Jahvy they behind bars. Yo, I don't want they behind bars, you know. Sit down, questions and answer. I don't know if I want to do that, you know. Dog, fly out. Conflict, eh? Scheduling conflict, okay. If you say so, party. If you say so, daddy, I wonder, will you ever do? Are you gonna pull a Movado and disappear for all 10 years? We will see.
What if that strap there, the Jeffrey use, a did feed strap? They just say, what if that strap there feed strap? And in this situation, you know, 15 man surround him, and him have to do, and him squeeze off, boom, run to the police, hand over the weapon and say, yo, man, then try to kill me. I have to disarm my man, you see me? Because 15 of them, and I see man pull strap on me and ray, and I have to disarm my man. Well, you don't know already, you know, if you have an illegal weapon, you know, 15 years that you look on, you know, brother. So the man, what do you think the man are going to do? The man could have all have the strap on him, but when push come to shove, and this go down, you see me? Squeeze off couple, boom, run go to the authorities and say, yo, man them rush me, brother, and man them try to kill me and way, and me have to, you know, battle it out, boom, beat 2 and see strap here. Them are going to swab him on, and them are going to find the gun residue upon him on, yes. Them are going to find it. But how them are going to prove it's this weapon are really a weapon when take from the other one? If the weapon registered, then you know it's easy to find that. Because now we can say yes, a John Tam owned the weapon. But what if that weapon is not registered? What will happen? A illegal gun that. And now 450 side and Jahvy side now got own it, the whole entourage now got own it. Them are going to say them don't know nothing about that the weapon there. Jeffrey already bring it to the authorities and say, half of the man they may take it off of, where try to kill me. Which I think is a smart move. Very smart move. Because any man get liable for that and the weapon is illegal. There's no say them get what the dog get, brother.
And that's the thing when me are telling about. Nobody now gonna own it. No one is gonna wanna own it. So if the police them can't pin the strap on somebody, how them a know who for strap? Them can't say a Jeffrey strap, and them don't know for sure. Them can't say the entourage them. Them don't know who them have to investigate and see who the gun actually tied to. And then you figure it out from there, so. Because obviously Jeffrey now go own it. Obviously the entourage members are Jahvy them now go own it. So we know what time it is, we no fool. We know what time the ball game be.
Alright, so from the very first moment, a narrative was set. A narrative that gripped the entire nation. One that pushed a single belief into the minds of the people. That Jay acted in self-defense. And once that takes place, it does something powerful. It creates a form of connection. An emotional one at that. It creates sympathy, bias. Naturally, people will side with survival. People will side with the man who they believe was trying to protect himself. But now, all of that changed. Jay and Jahvy ambassador remain in police custody. The truth is, this story is far from over, you know. The truth is still unfolding. Now we're going to slow this all the way down. We're going to break this piece by piece. Every angle, every possibility, every scenario. Not based on emotion, but based on logic. Now, I am not a police officer. I do not have any formal training in legal law. However, I do have background in psychology and engineering, so we can reason out this. Let's bring it back all the way to Carnival night. The city was alive. Music pumping from every corner. People were holding high energy. Liquor flow, it was just pure vibes. This is the kind of night where nobody really thinks about danger. Everybody's there for one thing: enjoyment. And after the road, after the main festivities, comes the after party. Now, understand that this is not just some small link up, you know. We're talking about a high-profile event. The kind of event that pulls certain crowd. People with money, people with influence, people who carry presence. And when you have that type of mix in one space, you are not just dealing with vibes anymore, you know, you are dealing with ego, status, and tension. And in a setting like that, security is supposed to be tight, more control, because you already know the type of personality that will be present.
I listening, but me no overs the ego part or the ego part dropping or the ego part trigger. If Jeffrey over one part and what that show and them over one part and what that show, that makes sense. But for premeditate go corral a man by the bathroom when he might exit, that's a different ball game. That the ego no fit in at the concept right there, so. You understand that is premeditated, that a man knows say, alright, from when we can't buck the boy, anyway we buck him and see boy, then we spot the boy. Yo, you know, so we spot the boy going to the bathroom. Alright, we'll corral him. Alright, we'll give him a page. A whole book leaf, or whole booklet, I should say. A encyclopedia of badness, you see me? So, me don't know the ego part Japan still. And blah, blah, blah. I know some stupid person is gonna comment, but a ego, Jahvy them using them. Me not talk about that, bro. Me not talk about that, the ego there. Me not talk about man feel like them high and mighty and them see man, them are do man things. I am not referring to that ego. I am speaking of the ego in terms of what the guy is talking about in this audio clipping. The man has said, bro, a event like this, people have status, ray. You know, say ego, ray. So me I say at the end of the day, well, that not really have nothing to do with this incident. So me I say, cause it took place outside of the eyes of the masses and people of status. Yes, so me I say.
But somehow, something slipped. And that's where the first crack in this entire situation begins. Because if the environment was fully controlled, does this even reach this point? Or was this a situation waiting to happen? Now picture this. Jay's at the party. Not in defense mode. He's just there like everybody else. And so was Jahvy 450, even Idonia, the entire crew out. Them just a whole of vibes. Regular carnival after party. Now somewhere along this line, Jahvy them spot Jay. It would have seemed like them spot him long time and just wait on the right moment. And that moment did forward. Jay decided that he was going to use the restroom, which triggered a decision to approach, and not just any approach. Now for one, understand that the restroom is isolated from the general population. It means less lighting, less crowd density, and less witnesses, which is exactly what they needed to confront him, because remember, they already made up their mind that they are going to attack him. Now the report stated that Jay received a box. This is the second point in which the story really fractures, because this is where details are conflicting. Some say a Jahvy threw the first box, others say it's a female. That right here tell you something important. The situation was chaotic, because when witness can't even align who made the first physical move, it means everything happened fast. Or was that part of the narrative that was selling from the beginning? But what we do know, a hit was landed, and that one physical moment triggers something into what would have turned a situation into a violent one.
Boy, oh boy, these witnesses, they will be on trial. A trial them are upon, because they will be questioned. They will be questioned to the ground, the validity of their testimony, because at the end of the day, are they bystanders, neutral people, or fans of the artist and his entourage? Are they a part of the entourage? Because this incident allegedly took place outside of prying eyes, right? Secluded area, isolated area. So, what you mean by eyewitnesses, right? Can we trust the account of anybody? If the entourage, they mostly did it, I'm just saying, spooky dookie.
Now everything splits, not into facts, not into confirmed truth, but into two competing realities, two versions of the same few seconds that will ultimately decide everything. This is where everyone now is trying to piece it together in a way that makes sense, but the truth is both sides can be built to sound believable. So let's walk through it. The first reality, the one most people have already accepted, is the self-defense narrative. In this version, Jay is caught off guard. He stepped out of the restroom area, and before him can even process what is going on, he was confronted by a group. Multiple individuals closing intention already high. Their words may be sharp, may be aggressive, but suddenly contact a box land. Whether it's Jahvy or someone else, it doesn't matter in this moment. What matters is that the situation turns physical instantly. Now, two things we need to establish: proximity and the full numbers, right? But understand this clearly. Once you are outnumbered, your brain doesn't calculate numbers properly. It doesn't say, yo, a 10 people or a 5 people or a 15. All your brain registers is threat, and not just any threat, overwhelming threat. Now, proximity is everything. We're not talking about people standing 10 feet away from him. We're talking about people within arm reach, within striking distance, within grabbing distance, a tight circle forming around him, whether intentional or not. Now imagine trying to move in a space like that. Imagine trying to think, imagine trying to defend yourself. This is not normal pressure. This is what we call survival pressure. Now, This term, survival pressure, me and my brother did that reason. He's a police officer, a detective at that. You know, and he was saying some stuff and I really calculated and think about it. And me say, you know what? I'm going to share it to my viewers. And I really want you guys to soak in the information. So one of the first reality he mentioned was that Jahvy is the main player within the gang itself.
That is it. The fact that Jay get boxed. Close proximity, you know. A bag of people curl him, close proximity. So when people talk like say, oh, him couldn't have disarmed people and whatever, take a gun, pull a gun off of somebody. Why? Why that's so hard to believe? If a bag of people surround you and a man a box you not think said possibly you could have pulled a gun off of, like, you know hard to believe, bro. You understand? The fact is that him could have disarmed a man when he even did pull the gun. A man could have in a rough land tussle and him spot the gun and take it off of a man and start squeeze. All that possible. The fact that people are going like saying not possible, that is crazy to me.
And naturally, if anybody know about gang, you would know say everybody else will always try to protect that individual. Which means if he calculated 15 person, at least 8 of those individuals would have been super close to him. Close enough where everyone could have touched him. Now according to this narrative, Jay didn't come with the weapon. The weapon belonged to someone in that group. Someone close enough, bold enough, or ready enough to escalate the situation beyond fist. And in a moment like that, when a weapon entered the space, everything changed instantly. This now becomes a life or death situation. So the claim is the J effect. Not with fear, but with instinct. He grabbed control of the weapon, disarmed the individual, and in that same sequence, under pressure, under confusion, with all of that adrenaline, the weapon is discharged. A shot goes off, and in that second, the entire energy will shift. Because gunshots don't just affect the target, it affects the entire environment. People are going to naturally scatter. So the first shot will ring out, half of that group will have already disappeared before Jay's second thoughts would have clicked in. But that first shot also creates space, it creates opportunity. And that's how in this version Jay escaped. Not because he planned it, but because chaos creates an opening and he took it. Now in the same breath, Jahvy exposed his weapon and returned fire in Jay's direction. And we all know what happened next. Jay received a shot in his lower back. What does that tell you? Now comes the part that confuses a lot of people. He hands over the weapon. To some, that sounds crazy. But if you follow this narrative all the way through, it actually aligns. Because if you disarm someone, if a shot was fired in public setting, if police are already in the vicinity, then handing over the weapon immediately could be seen as the act of someone trying to show, I'm not the aggressor, I'm cooperating. And just like that, the self-defense narrative is born. Now let's shift this. Different reality.
What? What's the one now? Another reality? There is another reality other than the self-defense? Bro, yo, wanna read it up, man? Man box you up and you get shot and you question if a self-defense? Like, yo, alright, let me hear what the G say.
In this version, Jay is already armed. Now pause right there because that changed the psychology completely. When you are in the position of an illegal weapon, your awareness is different. Your movements are also different. You are not just thinking about conflict, you are thinking about consequences. So now let's replay the moment. He exits the restroom area, he notices a group approaching, and he may not even know their exact intention yet, but numbers alone creates tension. And he has a decision to make. Does he reveal the weapon early? No, because revealing it too early creates a different problem, legal problem, public exposure, escalation before it's even necessary. So he waits, the man them quarrel him, box land, and that one action flip the switch, because now in his mind, these threats become real. Whereas if Jahvy starts to expose his weapon, this is where instinct takes over again. But this time, the weapon is already his. Now think about what happens next. Because most group confrontation rely on intimidation, Numbers alone usually suppress resistance. But once a firearm introduced, that entire advantage disappears instantly. Because nobody wants to stand up in front of a gun. People start to scatter. Space is created. And while him decide to run off, Jahvy clap him. Same as the first scenario. Also, he decided to hand over the weapon. And again, people might say I'm crazy, but if you were a thinking cap, this would have been the best way out, because in a public incident with witness, police present, with attention already building, you cannot hide that weapon. So what do? You control the narrative before the narrative controls you. You hand it over. He established cooperation, attach his action to self-defense. Because once that label sticks, everything else become arguable. And again, just like that, two reality exists. In one hand, he's a man who survived an attack, disarm a threat, and react under pressure. In the other hand, he's a man who was already prepared, react to the aggression, and then position his action within a legal defense.
Oh, the backside me I hear? What kind of story? What kind of cockamamie crap is this? Bro, understand, there's only one outcome. Once him fire a shot out of the gun there, whether he had the gun on him before a fee gun when him carry go, or him disarm a man, him have to turn it over to the police them. If him not turn it over to the police them, how him a claim self-defense? How him a claim anything other than him a try to kill people? Bro, that don't make no sense. You have to turn over the gun. Bro. Man try to kill me in a real life. Man pull gun. Yo, man, Jaja, some my time in a life. Imagine this, right? Two youth a try rob me and thing. You see me, I try to take me jewelry and rare off of me and whatever, right? So man come, him not have him gun pull or nothing. Him come and start try to take off my jewelry, so me ease him off. Him comes and pull out a 380 out time waist and cock it back for show me say one in the head say it real, right? I don't know how you think already. You see me I say psychology and rare. Boy have to tuck them gun and run away. You understand? Cause all him friend I tell him say shoot and squeeze and rare. Me I tell him say I eat that. First he will go suck out your mother and be sitting me I diss him up wicked and I tell him say my punk him can't fire. Cause him no want to spend time in prison. He say look around, where you do? Kill me in front of everybody for what? Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, you see me come here play up on him in mind and them thing that put certain things in my head. As me say psychology. Anyhow, after the incident, the boy took him gun and run and police get involved, right? When the police them get involved, them ask me for the bullet because I had picked up the bullet. So them want the bullet as evidence. I had the bullet because me I say, I go frame that one here. So me I say, because this was supposed to be mine where him that use kill me or whatever. So me I go put a hole in it and wait, put it as a pendant and whatever. Police them take it from me. You see me evidence. So what I'm saying is, whether Jahvy had the gun, from him discharge the gun is now a part of the incident, so the gun is evidence, right? So him have to turn over the gun, no matter what. And if him don't turn over the gun, him a go in a trouble all if him did disarm the man. If him did disarm the man and him don't turn over the gun, him a go in a trouble, no matter what. You understand? So him have to turn over the gun. That is why me I say it's a far gone conclusion that the gun has to be turned over to the police them. So anybody where I say, boy, why I'm turning, like you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Bro, if me disarm a man and shoot a man, me have my first instinct have to figure out if no police not did them, me have to guard the police station, me have to bring it to the police them, me have to bring it to the police them attention. Because me can't claim self-defense if me go hide the gun, discard the gun or anything like that. That is just common sense. So dog, are some real low IQ thing people are pre some my time, you know?
And this is where the case now becomes dangerous. Both parties has to argue the same reality out. If Jay act in self-defense, Jahvy is going to use the other narrative. So now this becomes a legal matter. You know what most people miss? And this is where the bridging comes in. See, in an event like this, when it comes down to the detective part, this is the part that almost never planned. Nobody wake up that morning and say, yeah, tonight I'll get myself in a situation where a prison the next day. Unless you are a trained individual, no matter about soldier, police, or even somebody with a certain kind of life, like a certain survival skill, persons who live isolated. You are not just thinking about covering your tracks, you are thinking about how this is going to look after. You are thinking about evidence, which is where Jay's steps can be easily traced with whatever information he get to the police them. He also argued the same point as in the soldier and police and trained or whatever, in the sense where he was able to disarm an individual with so many people around him. It's crazy work. When me ask him what would he do, let's say him now have no fireman without the training, just a normal civilian. The man say even with the training, the first thing he might do if him see so much man a curl him a run for him life. What kind of disarm, no man not get close to him them way there. Yo, Johnny was start. But like him I say, it's a survival thing. Unless, of course, by the time him realized, so the group are approached, they were too close. They were nowhere to run to. He also mentioned when it comes to detective work like this, police will also argue the narrative or investigate the narrative as it was already planned or premeditated up to the action. Meaning, Jay either have some form of help, maybe him realize the man them a pre-him, get the weapon, move to the restroom so him know them are going to approach. What he didn't knew was that he was going to go that far. Again, all speculation. He said that the fact of the matter that the case is now before the court, whichever version is backed by evidence or argued best, that will become the reality of the case. Now, up until this point, we can reason, we can analyze, we can break down the behavior. But the moment this touches the court system, none of that really matters unless it can be proven. And this is where the situation becomes even extremely dangerous, specifically for Jahvy. Why? because he was the one who handed over the illegal weapon. And we already established that both parties are going to argue with self-defense. Another talking point is the fact that he received shot in his back. So even though they are going to charge Jahvy for that, the question is, who do you think have a better chance fighting this case using that narrative, the self-defense? And then when it comes to the legal gun, there's no clean escape from that. There's no simple explanation that can wipe that away. Even if self-defense is proven, even if the court accept that he was under severe threat, remember, a whole heap of them, that weapon still has to be accounted for. Who owns it? Where did it come from? And if it is a legal firearm, they are going to find who is responsible for it or who owns it. Now think about this carefully. The fact that Jay was the one who handed the machine over, he is the one who has to explain everything. He's the number one suspect. However, fingerprints alone cannot tell a full story, and this is where forensic evidence comes in. And the reason why I said that, if it is the person who got shot, fingerprints are on that weapon as well. They could argue that Jay pulled the weapon and he attempted to grab it. Do you see where this is going? All of these things start painting a picture that no words can change. So it comes down to evidence. Investigators can only listen to statement. They now have to reconstruct that moment. Who fired first? How many shots were fired? From what distance? At what angle? Who was hit and how? Because each of those answers either strengthen a narrative or completely destroys it. Like for example, we understand that Jeffrey and Jahvy is already been charged. What about the third person? Shouldn't he be heavily involved in this case? I'm talking about the one that got shot. Remember, the gun is his, unless that narrative is not holding any weight. A lot of people are throwing around this self-defense term like it's something simple. It's not. Self-defense, especially in a situation like this, is one of the most misunderstood things legally. First and foremost, self-defense doesn't give you the automatical right to use a firearm, much less discharge one in a crowded environment. That alone right there is a problem. And yes, a group surround Jay. The tension escalate. Yes, even a punch being thrown, that does not automatically justify lethal force. The law doesn't work off emotion, it works off imminent threat, meaning your life had to be in clear, imminent danger at that exact moment for that level of response to even be considered. So for Jay's self-defense claim to truly stand strong, it would have mean one key thing. Jahvy gun was already introduced against him. Without that, he doesn't have a strong leg to stand on with that argument. Now, here's where this even get more technical. The third person that got shot. Remember, the details are unclear now. Think about it. Was that individual behind Jahvy? Was he on the side? Was he running away? Because if someone behind Jahvy got hit enough, that tell you completely say Jay shoot first. This is how reconstruction works. They are going to map it out literally. Who stood where? Who moved when? Which part the shot them travel? Because if it turns out that shots were fired while Jay was retreating or after the immediate threat was already broken, then the self-defense argument start collapsing. Why? Because once you are no longer in imminent danger, your right to use that level of force reduce significantly, unless that is where the counter arguments comes in, unless Jahvy was also firing. Once them can follow the pattern, then the evidence will arrive. And from there they can form a clear picture. So yes, it may comes down to lawyer presenting arguments. One bag of narrative will be built, but if the evidence strongly support one version over the other, then the outcome is not really a debate anymore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be very, very interesting going forward because, like says a versus situation, both of them will be facing trial. We're talking about Jeffrey and Jahvy. Now, get me wrong, the charges can be dropped. So, like said, just because someone is charged, don't mean that they might actually go all the way. You understand? The charges against Jeffrey can be dropped. Against Jahvy can be dropped. We will see. You understand? But my thing is this, it's not a versus situation. Even though both of them will be on trial, facing them judge and jury separately. You understand? It's going to be crazy. Ah boy, the man them gonna mix up in a bag of foolishness. So whichever narrative you want to believe, it's unknown, So share your perspectives in the comments. You see me, that one here, the video might get too long. No one gonna further. Yeah, that's still in people. Blessings and respect every time. Captain of the Vulture Squad, I came, I saw, I vultured that. Share your views and perspective.